Hey, it is Dr. Marcea, and I'm your Master Destiny Life Coach. Good evening, and welcome back to your week. If you were on the struggle bus today, go ahead and put me in the chat, okay? I know we had a long weekend, but I wanted to. I just got finished getting interviewed on a digital TV station or program that's going to be airing in a week or so. It's called The Right Mentality. And one of the things that Marcus A. Wright, he asked a question. He says, and I was talking about, some of the struggles in my life. And he said, what do you think took so long? Right? What took so long to get from where I was to where I wanted to be? It's the before and the after. What took so long in the middle? And as I was thinking about the thing, I gave him, you have to watch the show to get the full answer. But what it did, it triggered something for me, just like these lashes are triggering something. My daughter made me wear these. So if you like them, put like in the chat or something. She wouldn't let me do this without them. So I had to just go ahead and do it. I have one of those millennials who they're real demanding. But anyway, so as I was thinking about, as I was answering the question, what took so long? And I had to say my desire for change had to be greater than my desire for comfort. Okay, my desire for change got to a point where it was greater than my desire for comfort. And so we talk about, the comfort zone. The comfort zone ain't comfortable. If you didn't know that, there's some things that we put up with. Okay, we're back to the struggle bus. If you've been on the struggle bus, we stay in that comfort zone because we're not ready yet to get off of the bus. Okay, and I'm here to tell you that it's a process. Everybody isn't ready for change. Everybody ain't ready. Okay, because the pain of being where you are is tolerable, and we stay stuck because we're not ready. Okay, and that's not a bad thing. It's just where you are. So point one is that if you're not ready for change, it's okay. The more out of life, it's kind of like that kid or that grown adult who's still living at home. You cannot make them get some gumption. Okay, you can't make them go out and you can't will your willpower on somebody else. It has to come from the inside. And so whenever a change is happening, it's because the inside is about to bust out. And we talk about, revolutions. Revolutions happen under the guise or under the backdrop that the oppression is so bad that you have to change. And so the message today is that the thing that's taking so long is that it's a process. It's a process. And sometimes you're just not ready. But why is that? And so I'm going to give you 3 things as to why you're not ready. One, and this is something a little bit about what I've already shared, is that sometimes the pain isn't bad enough. Sometimes you're not hurting enough. You haven't been knocked down enough. You haven't cried enough. You haven't been broke long enough. And so when the pain isn't big enough, it's kind of like when, say, for instance, so I'm a physician, and a lot of times when people talk about, they're having chest pain and they don't want to go to the doctor. They don't want to call the ambulance. they don't want to do none of the things, okay, that you would do if you told somebody, if you told a medical professional that you're having pain, okay? But when the pain gets loud enough, when it hurts enough, now, or you pass out, or someone sees you in extreme pain, now they're like, you know what, now there's nothing else we can do but call 911. We have to do that. And that's one of the things. That's the first thing. One, you have to evaluate how bad your pain is. The second is that sometimes we don't know there is better, or we don't believe there's better, or we don't believe that we can get to the better. And that comes from hope, right? We lack the hope that we can get out of where we are and get someplace else. Maybe it may have worked for somebody else, but we don't believe that it could work for us. We tell people all the time, well, you know what, just go ahead and pray, baby. Go ahead. It's, trust in the Lord. It's going to be all right. But we're not believing it for ourselves. Okay, so that's the second thing that keeps us in that stuck place. The third thing is that we're afraid of being different. We're afraid of it being different. If we decide to do something different, if we take a left turn instead of going right, if we go up instead of going down, if we do anything differently, how are we going to make it? Because it's something that we haven't done before. So I'm going to stay right here because I know what's going to happen. Okay, I want you to think about maybe an alcoholic relationship. Okay, such and such is going to get upset. They're going to get mad. They're going to throw some things. They're going to say some things. They're going to end up falling asleep. And the next morning, they're going to apologize for what they did. Okay, so it's a pattern. And we all have these patterns in our life. Okay, maybe it is you decide, you're thinking about going to school to get that advanced degree. And you start thinking about it. You get the application. You figure out how much money it is. You look at the date that it's supposed to start. You decide if you're going to get funding or financing or a loan. And then that's when things start happening. Your car starts to break down, or an unexpected bill comes. It's tax time. It's a party that needs to happen. There's that trip. Okay. And then you decide, you know what? You pull it back and you say, not right now. That is the pattern that happens. And so that pattern feels good. That pattern is predictable. That pattern lets your brain, your primitive brain says, you know what, this is how this is supposed to be. And when you're in one of these three states, it means you're not quite ready. It's part of the process. Don't beat yourself up, but you get to a place where you no longer are okay with it. Okay, and that is the place where you now can get change. You can't get change when you don't think there's a problem. You can't get change when it hurts a little bit. You can't get change when you're not believing that something different can happen. You're not going to get change when you're afraid of what's on the other side of your decision. And so that is where a lot of us are. We're in that middle zone where we're wanting to do something different, but we're too afraid of making that change. And some of us stay in this state for a long time. Sometimes it's weeks. Sometimes it's months. Some of us have been in this cycle for years. Okay, somebody say years. Okay, years. And now we're in, not only is it a pattern, but there is the amount of hope is even smaller, because the longer we stay in the cycle, it's the longer we believe that it's not going to change. And that is this is the question. What's taking so long? Decide if this is just part of your process, or if the pain really is that high. Okay? If you're in that place, I want you just to say me. Okay? You don't got to put in the chat, all right? This is not that kind of a party, but I want you to say for you, if you're at a place where you are ready to move, you are ready to be different, you're fed up with the way that it's been, that you're ready for something new, it's time to do something different. And one of the second point I made was that sometimes we don't believe that we can, or we don't believe that it can be better. That's where some accountability, that's where some help comes. And what I do with my clients is that I help to believe for you, and I believe with you, so that you can now make that next step. Okay, it's not about taking a leap, taking a jump, taking a mile down the road. It is about one step. It's about one decision at a time. That's the thing that's going to help get you from where you are to where you want to be. But it happens one decision, one day, one step at a time. And so if you are ready to do something different, if you're ready to change, if you're ready to make that step, make that next move, but you just don't know how, you just don't have the belief, but you know you want to, you know you need to, you know that you have to, I want you to check me out at www.drmarcea.com, or you can text the number 410-705-7851. Let's have a conversation. Let me find out where you are, and then help map out the next steps. Okay? Because there is more on the other side. Somebody put more. Type more into the chat. There is more. Look, there are more lashes on the other side, okay? There's more joy on the other side. There's more life on the other side of all of the struggle, of all of the drama, of all of the bad relationships, of all the jobs that were dead end. There is more on the other side. I promise you. I promise you, there is more. But it takes you deciding that this right now is worse. The pain is worse. The place that you are. Sometimes it's numb. Okay? If you've experienced that numb feeling, okay, I want you to just raise your hand. Now, I can't see you, but I want you just to raise your hand and say, it's numb because I've lost my drive. I've lost my fire. I've lost my passion. Or I've been doing all the things. I've been taking care of everybody. And now when I look at where I am, I'm empty. Okay? So let's do life differently. If you're in that place where you're ready to make change, reach out. Let's have a conversation. And let's map out a destiny. Let's map out the pathway to get you from where you are to where you want to be. I'm Dr. Marcea, and I'll see you next time. Take care.